Crews have widened the search area to look for 5 Army aviators after a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter crashed. Plus a man's warning about looking directly at the solar eclipse. And we're giving you a backpack makeover as the kids return to school. I'm glad that you've joined us. From the ABC Columbia studio, I'm Kimberlei Davis. Here are your trending headlines for Friday, August 18th. Crews in Hawaii have been searching around the clock since Tuesday night after an Army helicopter disappeared off radar. And now crews have found more debris, including more helmets and pieces of the Black Hawk helicopter. The UH-60 chopper had 2 pilots and 3 crew members on board. They were on a night training mission when the chopper went down somewhere off Kaena Point. None of the service members have been found yet, but crews are working around the clock to bring the soldiers home. The 5 missing soldiers are from the 25th Combat Aviation Brigade, comprised of 2,500 service members. The Army is bringing in more reinforcements. A crew from the Army Combat Readiness Center in Alabama will be flown in. And we're just days away from Monday's total solar eclipse. And when doctors and other experts tell you to protect your eyes when viewing the eclipse, they're not kidding. A man in Pennsylvania explains what happened to him when he stared at a solar eclipse decades ago. Jessica Albert reports.
In the 1960s, James Holt of Pittston Township was only about 10 years old. He says back then he was preparing to watch a partial solar eclipse.
We had heard that if you want to see the eclipse, you can look through negatives of a picture. That dates me how old I am, but you look through the negatives, get several of them stacked together, and you can see it and shouldn't have a problem.
Holt was able to view the eclipse with no problem. Years later, he says he noticed an issue with his eyesight. It turns out he damaged a portion of his retina in his right eye from viewing the eclipse.
If using both eyes, I don't have a problem with it at all. Just using the right eye, like I say, looking at small print or something close up, small, it distorts it.
So you end up with that shadow on the earth. So that's the basic idea of the eclipse.
Dr. Heidi Manning is the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at Misericordia University. She used to work with NASA.
To have it go on the continental United States is not that common. To have it go all the way across the continent, even less common, and that's why this is such a big deal, is so many people are able to see it.
As the eclipse approaches, she wants to warn people about properly protecting their eyes when viewing the eclipse. She suggests you purchase protective glasses or use a box or another homemade device to view the eclipse without directly looking into the sun.
Don't be confused that, well, 75% of the sun is blocked, so it's not that big a deal. There still is a tremendous amount of light coming, and it can cause damage to your eye in just fractions of a second. So you never want to look directly at the sun.
It is a fascinating thing to look at, but be safe. That's the main thing, is be safe. Don't ruin your eyes. It's not worth ruining your eyes over.
Visit the Total Solar Eclipse page under the Weather tab on abccolumbia.com for local viewing parties and for more travel and safety precautions for the big event on Monday. Now to our great backpack makeover as the kids head back to school. We're taking a closer look at how those backpacks affect them. Surveys show most school kids say they have pain related to their backpacks. Paula Ferris went on a mission to find out just how heavy they can get.
It's back to school at J.T. Moore Middle School in Nashville, and that means kids are carrying most of what they need in those backpacks. To find out just how heavy the backpacks are, GMA sets up a backpack clinic. Our expert, Dr. Alex Diamond, a pediatric sports medicine physician at Vanderbilt University.
We're here with middle school children. Why are these children in particular more vulnerable?
They're still developing and growing. The other part about it is they're starting to get into more serious academic work, and so now they're having the requirements of these heavier books.
But how much weight is too much?
Heavy backpacks. How big of an issue is this right now for children?
Yeah, I think it's a critical issue, and we're seeing issues with muscle sprains and strains and numbness and having neck pain and having headaches.
First, we asked the kids a question.
How many of you here have a really heavy backpack? Raise your hand. Wow. It's almost all of you have a really heavy backpack.
The American Academy of Pediatrics says a backpack should never be more than 10 to 20% of a child's body weight. First up, Charlie, who's a 6th grader. His backpack over the limit, it's nearly 20 pounds.
I have a lot of neck pain.
Here, show us what you've got in here. Lots of books. Do you think do you need all of these books?
Yeah, for classes.
More than half of these 6th graders are carrying backpacks weighing more than 20% of their body weight. And check out this lineup of 5th graders. Vivian's backpack is almost a third of her body weight.
You can see how heavy it is.
Toby's backpack also over the limit at 21 pounds.
You can't even zip your bag. This is a huge bag, buddy.
Overall, almost 40% of the kids had backpacks that were over the recommended weight. But watch what happens with the school's 7th graders. They use digital textbooks, so no lugging around those heavy books.
5.6 pounds. That's pretty awesome.
Feels so much better.
It feels so much better.
To lighten the load, each child at the school does have a locker. Our expert shows them how to lift their backpacks to avoid strain.
You want to bend at your knees, grab both straps and then sort of pull it up and lift, and then you can put it across your back.
Paula Ferris, ABC News, Nashville.
Those kids look so excited to be going back to school. You have until August 31st to submit your photos in our Back to School contest for a chance to win a prize package. Visit the contest page on abccolumbia.com. Join us for news, weather, sports, and more on air, online, and on the ABC Columbia mobile app. We'll have continuing coverage of the multiple acts of terrorism out of Barcelona, Spain on World News Tonight. Catch an all-new episode of What Would You Do as a clerk refuses to sell clothes to a transgender woman and a nail technician charges a woman extra because she is overweight. Here's a sneak peek at tonight's episode of 2020. I'm Kimberlei Davis. Have a great pre-eclipse weekend, and thanks for watching.
What happens when the extremists come to small-town America? Now 2020 is right there at the center of it all.
Form lines. We want to be like ants. Hold formation. We just go and destroy everything that's in our way.
The anger, the conflict, cameras rolling for over 6 months. Can we stop the hate and violence?
You're not going to stop us because you don't matter.
Yes, we will stop you.
Fractured America, extremism in the streets. The special 2020 breaks Friday at 10/9 Central on ABC.